Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Man Evolved. Today's topic will be the main thrust of what moves MGTOW and why MGTOW exists, and that is marriage and the problems with marriage and the risks involved. And recently, I saw a interview that ABC did with Paul Elam, who's like the one of the biggest MRAs out there. I don't think he's a MGTOW, but I'm pretty sure he's an MRA, and his whole contention was to this reporter for ABC was marriage is unsafe for men, and just the look on her face, man, was just she couldn't figure it out. Why would you say such a thing, right? She's some white woman with short brown hair. I forget her name, but she was just you could tell she was just seething with anger. Like, how dare you teach men not to get married? And and that's the whole thrust behind probably the MRA, but more specifically MGTOW, because there is no benefit for a man in marriage. I mean, if you had a 50% chance of doing something and dying doing it, would you do it? I wouldn't, right? And that's the likelihood of marriage. I think it might be worse than 50. I don't know, but there's at least a significant chance that it won't work out. And what is it? 70% of divorces are initiated by women. So explain to me the benefit. Uh, Come on, I mean, justify it. For men, at least. For women, there is a huge incentive to get married. Financially, legally, they have something to risk, but it's not like it is for men. It just, ladies, so stop complaining. It's not the same for you. It never will be. Um, we can often, if there's a custody dispute, we won't get it. I mean, in 10% of the cases, we will. That means 90% of the time, we won't get custody of our kids. And men love their kids. They want to see them. So it's just grotesquely unbalanced towards to benefit women. Um, so we can often not see our kids and then have to pay child support for kids that we don't see or see very, rarely. Or, I know guys where it's every time they see their kid, it's like they got to fight tooth and nail just to get anything out of these women because they want to control the kids and everything. We probably talk bad about the father behind the dad's back, but that's whatever. Um, and then the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard of, alimony, or as my idol Tom Likas has said, vagimony. Of course, some women pay alimony, but it's not even. Come on, I mean, it's mostly men paying women off for nothing. Any of you ever quit a job and then keep getting paid? Me neither. Okay, it doesn't work like that. And if you're so strong and independent, get a fucking job, ladies. Get a fucking job. Stop taking your ex-husband's money. I don't mean child support. I mean alimony. Money for nothing. Okay, it's because the court says so. And especially if you've seen a lot of the worst cases I've seen are these, celebrities, these guys with millions of dollars. And Chris Rock is a victim of this. I mean, I don't personally like his entertainment, but he got royally fucked by his ex-wife, which is funny because pretty much as soon as their prenup expired, which I had no idea existed, a prenup with an expiration date, I had no idea that was a thing. But he got basically, when it comes down to it, half his wealth is gone to this woman for nothing because the court says so, right? She gets some of his wealth. She gets alimony. She gets probably half his savings, which is probably millions of dollars. Um, it is millions of dollars, so I think half his money is basically gone, right? From this, which is why these gold digging women in general get such a bad name because that shit is so common. As soon as the guy starts to, get his money, get some wealth going, if they're famous, the celebrity, an athlete, it's so common. I mean, which is why if you're a man with any sort of, I mean, I'll even mean a millionaire, you have a good career going, you have some money saved, you're doing your thing, don't get married. It's just so risky, so risky. Don't do it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Don't do it, and don't come back later and say she pressured me into it. The only reason women want to get married is to have control over you and your life. Okay? Nowadays, the way society works, there is nothing for marriage that you can't get from just a relationship. Nothing. Nothing. You can have kids. You can even commit to her if you want. But don't get married. As soon as you sign that piece of paper, you're fucked. Probably. So, but there's also rules about common law marriages where after a certain time you're considered legally in a relationship and you have to pay. Isn't that the dumbest shit? I mean, can we do something without the fucking government? Can we just fuck or have relationships without the government getting involved? I mean, seriously, do you have to fuck around with everything? It's just, you know, and the worst part of this is alimony and separation of assets when the women had nothing to do with accruing those assets. And they give me this shit about emotional support through their career. Stop it. Just stop. You're a fucking adult. Get a job, ladies. Give it up. Give it up. You do not deserve a piece of his salary forever. And the worst example of this is probably, Robin Williams, who, aside from physical problems, which we know he had, he also suffered from depression. I wonder friggin' why. These vampiric women sucking on this guy, sucking up his wealth. One of the greatest comedic actors and dramatic actors that you want to see. He just gets worn down to nothing by these women who think he owes them one. I mean, it's just these are women who are scumbags, and it doesn't take Robin Williams' wealth to experience. I mean, any sort of decent income. It's outrageous that no one talks about it. I mean, there's plenty of public service messages about not hitting your wife, like that stupid commercial where they said, "You teach your kid how to hit the ball and score a home run," but teaching him not how to hit a wife or something like that. It was some kind of nonsense about how about something with women being assholes. How about a public service message like, you know what? Don't be a gold digging whore. Women are strong, independent, and sexually liberated now. Get a fucking job, okay? I mean, stop the game, stop the scam. And but you know what? One thing I do know is, I mean, no one really talks about any of this for the most part. Society, socially, you're not going to see women on The View telling women not to take advantage of men, which they do every day. You're not going to see that, especially from those psychotic left women. But I'm going to talk about it because I think it's horseshit. Because if this were happening to women, there would be mass frustration. There would be feminists would be going nuts, and they'd be losing their shit over this. How can men take advantage of women so much in the legal system? We need to change the legal system. The women in general would just be going nuts. And no one would question, if things were reversed, no one would question a woman not wanting to get married. They'd have women on TV saying, "Oh, I totally understand. Women shouldn't get married. They lose everything." But because this is happening to men almost exclusively, and it's justified by the court system, nobody's saying a word. Right? Nobody cares. And so that's what I'm saying, guys. Once you sign your name, half your shit is gone. Okay? We just don't live in a world where commitment is a big deal, even if you're married. I mean, it's just women aren't built for long-term relationships anymore, and they're taught that the world owes them one, and that don't worry if a marriage goes bad, the court system has your back. And men have no such protection. They have nothing, nothing except probably some male support groups and channels like this. They don't have a voice. So I would just encourage women to. I mean, men know what I'm saying. They've either seen it or experienced it vicariously, or they've had it themselves. But women, is there any question why men don't want to get married? Uh, if you're aware of these issues, then you shouldn't judge a man for not wanting to get married. There is nothing in it for us. We don't need sex. Excuse me. We don't need marriage to get sex from you. We don't need commitment. We don't need marriage in order to commit to you. We don't need any of that. And the risks are so great that I want women to really understand where this movement is coming from. It's not against, if you're listening and you're a chick, it's not against you, okay? It's against most, the vast majority. It's society, it's the court system. That's what we're against. We're not against you as a person. We're against you as a recipient of unfair societal and legal benefits that strips men of rights, especially in marriage. That is the whole point of this movement. So I hope you guys understand. I hope women start to understand what is going on here. That it's not against you. It's not that you're unattractive. It's not that you're horrible human beings necessarily. It's that the system is set up for us to fail. And that's what I'm against. That's what everybody is against. They should be against. All MGTOW are against this. So I really want women to understand what this is about. Okay, it's it's not complicated if you take the blinders off. Okay, if this were happening to you, ladies, the world would just freak out. Okay, but for men, nobody cares. Okay, nobody cares. But I just want you to understand what this is all about. And that's don't ladies don't take it personally. That's all I'm saying. It's not you. If you're a woman and you're listening, it's not you. It's everything. The court system, the average woman we run into will not be will probably know all this and then take advantage of it. So thanks for listening, guys, and tune in for more.